Listen very carefully to what I'm about to share with you. It can literally change your life. Now here's an area that most people never really learn. Sandy and I love teaching this. We love earning it, and we love teaching people how to earn it. And there's no end to what you can earn. I think this is one of the most beautiful parts, because this is a part most people never learn, and it's actually fascinating. I could show anyone how to multiply their income, but I can only do it if they will act on the ideas that I share. Now that's what the man told me, and you know something? He was right. He said, if you just do exactly what I tell you, and so I decided I would. You got to get out of the box. The old way doesn't work. Creativity is the opposite of routine. We can't fall into a routine. You see, you can become very creative because you are creative. You are God's highest form of creation. And we've got creative faculties, and we want to start using them. Now look at this. There's a law governing compensation. What is compensation? Compensation is a reward we receive for service rendered. And there's laws governing this. Do you know, this law of compensation clearly states the amount of money you earn will always be an exact ratio to the need for what you do, your ability to do it, then the difficulty there is in replacing you. Now, there's probably a tremendous need for what you do. You don't even have to change that. You don't even have to go anywhere else. Tremendous need for what you do. The second one, your ability to do it. If you become very good at it, you're going to be very difficult to replace, and that's when the stock goes up. You see, all we have to focus on is our ability to do whatever we're doing. We want to become a master at it. And you know something? Very few people in your field, or in any field, really learn how to master what they're doing. Do you know the person that studies thinking into results with the sole purpose of mastering what they're doing? They stand out like a giraffe in a herd of field mice. I mean, it's just, there's no comparison. Absolutely no comparison to what they're doing. And this can happen fast. It doesn't happen. See, we already know how to do it. What we have to do is spring all that knowledge loose, get it flowing through us. That's why we say you got to control the flow. Now look at this for a moment. 3 income earning strategies. Just there's 3. You don't have to be the brightest cat in town to remember this. M1, M2, and M3. Now, if you're going to teach your children anything about earning money, and I would suggest you do, because if you don't, nobody else is going to. If you're going to teach your kids how to earn money, you want to teach them number 3. It's magnificent. It's an absolute winning formula. I stumbled on that back in the 60s. That's how I got up to $1 million a year, but I didn't know what I was doing. I'm showing you now because I learned. M1 is a terrible strategy, and yet it's used by 96% of the population. This is where people trade their time for money. You see, that strategy has an inherent problem. You run out of time. M2 is an excellent strategy, but it's only used by 3% of the population, and for good reason. This is where you invest money, turn money. And most people haven't got any money to invest. Some of the people in M1 will squirrel a little bit away because they've also been programmed they should save. So they squirrel it away at the expense of a life. They don't live the way they want. They just save a little. And then if they invest it the wrong way, it's gone. M3 was something I stumbled on. It's only used by 1% of the population. Some of them are brilliant. Some of them aren't very brilliant at all. I wasn't, and I learned to use it. This is where 1% earn about 96% of all the money that's earned. We know that there's not an even distribution of money, but it is fair because it's by law. You might not think it's fair, but the more you study the law, the more you realize it is. And you could move into the M3 strategy. You could do it just like that. Thinking into results will show you how to do that. That's where you multiply your time by setting up multiple sources of income. It's such a cool concept, and it's one most people don't understand. This can be accomplished by having multiple sources of income. Wealthy people historically have always had multiple sources. Now, the world is changing. Our world's not getting bigger. Our world is getting smaller. We're not a long ways away from anywhere anymore. The world's getting smaller. You can actually have business all over the world. And in Thinking Into Results, we'll show you how to do it, because that's what Thinking Into Results is about. Now, we call this MSIs, multiple sources of income. I figured out one time, I was on a flight from Toronto to Kuala Lumpur. It's 25 hours in the air one way. You go any further, you're coming back, so I had lots of time. And I was trying to figure out, what do the wealthy people that do that's different? They don't have one source of income. They have multiple sources, and you can just set them up. Here at the Proctor Gallagher Institute, we even got something called the Marketplace, the PGI Marketplace. And you join the Marketplace, and we put you in touch with people all over the world. You can see where people are. You can contact them, and they all think this way. You can set up joint ventures with them. You can set up multiple sources of income, and you can just keep adding it. The marketplace is genius. It's absolutely genius. Now you say, well, all the sources of income the same size? Oh, goodness, no. Some are big and some are small. But I'll tell you something they all have in common. They all flow into your bank. This is not fantasy, folks. This is the real deal. I have money coming into my bank account from all parts of the world, even while I'm sleeping. And the truth is, you can get to a point where you can earn more money when you're sleeping than you even spend when you're awake. Earning money is a game. Very few people understand it. We teach it, and we're very good at it. Now look at Buckminster Fuller said you never change things by fighting existing reality. To change something, you have to build a new model. That's what you have to do. We're showing you how to build a new model, and it's a beautiful model. Most people are extras in their own movie. They think, gosh, if only I could do that. They see somebody doing something well and say, wow, I wished I could do that. You can do whatever you want, but you got to decide what you want. What do you want? Most people don't have a clearly defined goal. They've never sat down and written it out. You see, that brings out the best in them. To be able to shape your future, you've got to be willing and able to change your paradigm. If you're prepared to make a decision without asking somebody else, don't say somebody, what do you think I should do? They don't know what to do. And that's what most people do. Go to somebody that does know. I am very good at this. I'm not much good at anything else, but I don't want to do anything else.